All right, today we're going to close the pool. We used to pay somebody to do it years ago, and I watched a YouTube video, a bunch of YouTube videos, and started doing it myself. So I figured I was going to make this video, show you what you need and how you can close your own pool too, because it's really not that hard. So come on up here and I'll show you the tools that we use. The first thing you see here is my battery screw gun here. What we did is took an Allen key and I cut off the elbow of the Allen key. That's going to go in here into your drill gun, and this fits perfectly into the little fittings on the sidewalk. So you can use your screw gun to go around and loosen and tighten them with this. So find one that fits your little brass fittings in your concrete and use that instead of walking around with that big tool they have by hand. The next thing we got here is all our plugs. For this pool, every pool is different, but for our pool we have 2 skimmer plugs in each skimmer. We've got a pool cleaner plug on the outside where you can see the hose up there now coming out. That's going to go in there. And then we got the 2 jets that shoot back into the pool. So that's the plugs. I've got an adjustable wrench right here. And here's an important thing. This is the key to everything. This little brass fitting right here, if you can see that, they're all different. This end is all different, and it's made to hook up to your air compressor. So this particular one fits into this air compressor. And what we're going to do is screw this into the hole in the pump, and it's going to blow air into the pump. So this is the key to everything, this little pump. I've got a little bucket, a little scooper, and then a rag, and my air compressor. Now, the other thing we need is your pool closing chemicals, which my wife comes home. You can buy them anywhere. It's just a kit, a pool closing chemical kit. You just pour a bunch of crap in your pool, and then you can close it up. We already put all of our furniture away. You can see all the pool toys are all gone. That set over there, that dining set, that stays there. There's no material on there that will get damaged in the wintertime, so I just leave that sit all winter long out here in Pennsylvania. But anything that has material, you got to put it away. The mice will find it, the mice will eat it. If you put your pool floats and toys away, the mice will find it, so make sure you put a place for that so don't get all chewed up. Okay, so that's really all you need. That little bit of stuff right there. We got our cover for the pool, and then Jordan's coming home with the chemical kit. And as soon as she gets home, because the pool is still running right now, it's actually running, she's gonna pour all that stuff into the pool, and then we can do our part and blow the lines and put the cover on, and we'll be done. So is this a pool closing kit or winterizing kit right here?
Yes.
Oh, it's okay, so pool winterizing kit.
And the other thing is this, you're gonna open it, flip it upside down, put this foam thing on it, and it floats around the pool.
So that floats around the pool, and what, I guess it's full of what, chlorine or something?
I don't even know.
Yeah, probably some kind of chlorine. So you got your floater in the wintertime full of some kind of chlorine. You just poke a hole in it so it drains real slow. And then you've got the iron and an algicide. So that's a pool closing kit. You just dump it all in there and wait an hour. Okay, so we're ready to hook up the compressor and the little fitting. We already opened up our breaker, and I turned my breakers in the off position. So they're both off. The pump is off. And now here's the little fitting on your pump. All the pumps have like a little thing right here you can just turn. They're actually a lot better than they used to be. This is a newer pump, and it's big enough, like a big wing nut, that you could actually do it without any kind of pliers. So I'm going to feed this on.
Liam, look out.
Here. Just screw it in.
Liam, back up.
Okay, so you can see how the water's coming through that fitting right there. So I'm going to turn the air compressor on, and the slip fitting's going to go in there and have all your vents open. If you look over here, everything's open, just like how the pool would normally run. Just how the pool would normally run. They're all different, but everything's running. Well, in the run position. And what that compressor is going to do, it's not building up any kind of pressure to where it's going to break a pipe. It's going to find the place of least resistance first. So bubbles will start coming out the easiest place it can find. And we're going to wait to see what it is. It's usually the closest point to the pump, and it's probably going to be that skimmer. Okay, so here's our plugs. It took about 30 seconds, and the water came to this filter, or this skimmer hole first, because this is the closest to the pump. So I'm just going to reach down there and make sure you loosen this all the way. Let's find the hole. Okay, so I pushed it in as far as it would go, and then I turned it. You can actually see it down there in the bottom. And you know you have it in right if you don't see any bubbles coming out. Now, since I plugged that hole, now that compressor is trying to find the next easiest hole, which is probably this skimmer. So this is the second spot that it wanted to go to. So now I'm going to put this one in. And tighten the wing nut. Wait a second, make sure you don't see any bubbles. Looks good already. So now the pump's trying to find the next easiest hole. Okay, it just came through the pool cleaner. Right there is where the pool cleaner comes out. Okay, so make sure it's loosened. Okay, so this little fitting right here was still in the wall. This is where your pool cleaner, it's a quick disconnect for your pool cleaner, the skimmer. It's not a skimmer, it's a pool cleaner. But your plug won't go in that, so I had to take this out. So you can see that one's in. No bubbles. That's good. The next place, the return back to the pool. You put it in one side and all the air will just automatically come out the other side. Yeah, we're fixing it. See this? I gotta put this in the hole down there. Stop the bubbles. See that? Put your hand in there. Can you feel it? Bubbles? I'm gonna stop the bubbles. And find that hole. Look. See down in there? See me put it in there? Yep, we'll stop the bubbles. And I'm turning it. Now look, see two. There's two in there. All good? Okay, so the only hole left is right there, the very bottom of the pool. I just give that a minute. While that's pushing all the air at the very bottom pipe, make sure that's completely empty. We just have these 2-liter bottles full of sand, and we just drop them in there. In case in the winter time, if there's some water in there and it freezes, that bottle will contract instead of letting the sides of your pool crack. They just kind of bobbed around in there. Just 2 liters full of sand. All right, so now the last thing we got to do is shut the valve off. This goes to the bottom. And it stops. Okay, so I popped the fitting off there, and that's all the pressure, the air pressure that the pump was putting into the lines. Most of it was inside here. Most of it's in here. So what's going to happen now is all the water that was in here is going to sink down. It's going to come out right there. So I don't need this fitting in here anymore. So that's done. That's the pool cleaner. That's empty. No water's left in there. Now everything's open. And I got the top open. All this valve is now open and everything's going to drain right out.
Whoa. Oh. Hello, Papa.
Whoa.
Whoa, Papa.
Look at that. I take that off. Look how dirty it is in here. Look how dirty.
No more water.
Let it sit there for a minute because it's so heavy. It's so heavy and full of water on all this. But look at all this. You see all that? That's all unnecessary earth. There's enough coating on there you don't need. This is all waste. And that makes your filter and your pump run extra hard and not have enough pressure because this thing gets full over time. And if it's so coated and full of crap, the water can't flow through it. But it's the end of the season. And inside here, in between this, is all going to be dog hair. Look at the dog hair. So we've got dog hair in here, extra earth. So we'll hose this down at the end of the season. This is the water that's left in the bottom of the filter. Down underneath it here is a drain plug, and it's a plastic plug, a big nut. It's just hard to get off. So over the years, instead of laying down trying to take that plastic nut out, just to drain the rest of this water, I found it's easier just to get a bucket and just scoop this water out. And then I don't have to take this out under here. And if you leave that open, mice come up in here, and mice will live in here during the winter time. So I just drain everything out, put it back together, and it's empty and dry in here. So you can see the little bit of water here. So that's why I get the big bucket and I get this little handle cup. And when I get down to the very last little bit, I'll get that towel, that little rag I had. I'll soak the water up the rag and I'll wipe all these edges off. Get all the old chlorine and earth and dirt off of here. I don't know, to me it's a lot easier to do it this way than take that bolt out. Okay, so this is the pool cleaner line. It's off right now, the line was blown. So we cleaned off our filter. So now we can put this back together. No water left in it. I don't put it on real tight for the winter time. Now over here, if you look, there's two plugs. These were on the side of that pump. I took both of those out so that the filter side drains and then the actual motor side drains. And once that water drains, then I can put them back in. And I just put them in just enough so I don't lose them. One on each side. So this is empty. We're going to clean this out and we'll put our lid back on. Okay, so that's good. This goes back in. The lid goes on. Now what you don't want to do is mess around and open this. This is the one that is for the bottom of the pool. If you open that, the water pressure will push that water right back through the line again and try to make it come up here as far as it can. So you don't want to do that. So don't let anybody open that one. All this is done. We're just waiting to put the fingers back into the filter. I don't know, the fins, the filter, the fingers, I don't know what they call them, but you can see how we clean them off. You can see how she's squirting each one off. It's kind of a tedious process, but that's one of the easiest things to do to keep your pool running good. is to keep those things cleaned. I know it's a pain, but like halfway through the season, if you shut your pump off, loosen the pressure on it, take that big cover off, pull those out, look how dirty that is. If you clean that halfway through the season, you'll save yourself on a lot of chemicals. I know. Because I don't want you to hit your head. Okay, turn on there. Okay, so while she's cleaning that off, we're going to put the cover on. Okay, so Jim's going around loosening up all the little fittings in the concrete. And what I did over here is I got this is like an automatic water pump level. It has like a level in it, and it's going to kick on. It'll kick on as soon as I plug it in, but it's automatic. As soon as that water level, when it rains or something, it'll automatically kick on and drain out the water. And you can see how I like snake the hose. And I use a black rubber hose because in the wintertime it won't freeze like a normal hose. And that melts. If it does get snow on it, it melts fast because it's black. So the water level never will get above that pump right there. And it's automatic. It has an automatic float in it, so it kicks on all by itself. You just leave it plugged in all winter.
Watch out. Don't step on those. Look, watch them. They're sticking out of the ground now.
Okay, so everything's done. Of course it got dark on us because we waited so long to start this. This is all clean now. Just got to slide this back in. That looks good. Here's our seal. This is the hardest part, trying to get the seal. Okay, so we cut the film and both of us put that on, this rubber seal, because that sucks. Okay, here's the cover. This is another thing that sucks because it's made out of fiberglass and it cuts your hands. The little particles on here just touching this thing gets you all itchy. Put this ring back on. Now this doesn't have to be like super tight or anything because it's in there. Make sure this is closed. Closed. Our two little wing nuts are back in. This is closed. The power's off. So this is all done. So that's it. That's the finished job right there. Cover's on. All the plugs are in. The winterization kit's inside there. The pump is out. Drain off the excess water. The hardest part is getting the cover on, I think, to know which way it lines up. I keep saying I'm going to put like some Sharpie markers with arrows or words pointing to shallow end, deep end, but I never do it. Or put tags on the straps or somewhere do I know which end goes where, but I never do it. So next year we'll play the same game. So that's closing the pool.